Hey, YouTube! Once again, it's Corey, your top tortoise from Snake Neck Games, with another episode of the Deck of Many Dungeons using the first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons rule set. If you remember in the last episode, our protagonist, Zodwood Nimblepot, the first level thief, came out of the dungeon with a bunch of locked doors he couldn't get beyond, small amount of gold, small amount of experience points. He is still first level, but we are hoping that this next dungeon changes all of that. Hopefully he'll level up. We'll see what happens. Let's get into things, shall we? Okay, you can see here, I've got Vassal open with the Deck of Many Dungeons, a brand new dungeon ready to go for Zodwood. So let's just start pulling cards and see what we have. Grab our Rogue token, drop him down here. Oh, why is he in the dungeon? D8 plus PC level. So D8 plus 1, that makes that a 7. Kill a monster who holds an item. That becomes very interesting because now once we get down to the second level and we get to the end room, there is a monster there that is going to hold a specific item for us that we can claim from killing him. Let's go find out what that monster and that item are. Okay, so you can see here we've got the Joker card up, Joker 2. We're gonna end up determining what the item is randomly, right? 4d6, right? One for the item, one for the type, one for what it was crafted by, and one for its value. You will notice that there is not a monster generator on here. So what we are going to do when we get to that point, I am going to use the random dungeon generator from first edition and determine what type of monster is on the second level. But for now, let's get the weapon, shall we? Okay, so I rolled a 4, a 2, a 5, and a 5, right? It is a scroll, very tiny one, crafted by elves, and it's worth 500 gold pieces. If we can get this item out of the dungeon, that is more than enough gold piece value for that scroll for Zodwood to level up. So we really want this. We really want this item badly. So I'm going to write that down. I'll be right back. Okay, you can see here I wrote that down up here in our little log thing here, so we can come back and go, oh hey, look, that's what we were after. So let's get this underway, shall we? We always go east first because that's what Zodwood likes to do. Okay, so Zodwood ends up, hey, look at that, there's a room here. Now there's a possibility of a trap, and I will spin this so you guys can see. D4 plus PC level, Zodwood is still first level. The best we can roll is a 5, so there is no trap. We don't have to worry about that. However, there is a secret door where there could be money behind it. So we'll move Zodwood over here, and does he spy the secret door? He needs a 1 on a roll of D6, and he spies the secret door. You can see it right here, there's a 1. He now picks up 20 gold pieces. Zodwood is becoming rich fast. Let me go write that down. Okay, so here we are. Zodwood has gone east, and he has eliminated that pathway. Let's go west now. We'll go north last. Okay, so we enter a hallway. Very possible there's a trap here. It D4 plus PC level, which is 1. We can get a 5, which would make it a hidden pit trap. So let's roll. 1 plus 1 is 2. There is no trap. Now, there is a very hard lock right there on that chest, but there's nothing in it. We're going to still see if Zodwood can pick it. There's nothing in the chest because there's no marker here to indicate, but he is going to go in here. He has a 45% chance to open locks, and he does pick it. 22, and oh, it's empty. There's nothing there. Poor Zodwood. Let's keep going. Let's keep going west. Okay, so we've got another hallway here. There's no monsters, remember. D6 plus 1 is 7. right? So there's no monsters. But there could possibly be the sound of clinking of falling coins. That is appropriate for a thief who has been wandering about these dungeons looking for money, and there's a scroll worth some big coin at the bottom of this whole thing. So, all right. So Zodwood comes into this room. There is a monster here. Okay, I'll spin this just so everybody can see that. Uh, it's either an acolyte or a skeleton. Keep in mind, we cannot roll above a 7 at this point on a d6. So it's an acolyte or a skeleton. There is no stat block in 1E for an acolyte. It would be a first level cleric. So I am just going to make the general ruling here that it is a skeleton. So we are going to grab the skeleton token, if I can find it quickly. Drop him here. Now Zodwood has a chance, albeit very small. He does have a chance, 1 to 4. I'm sorry. Let me go check his chance to see if he can surprise this skeleton. Okay, it is in fact 1 to 4 on a d6. He has a chance to surprise the skeleton. If he does, he can attempt to backstab. Excuse me. So he in fact does surprise the skeleton. He rolled a 2. The skeleton does not know he is there. So he's going to come in and attempt the backstab. I will point out, if you remember from our first episode, Zodwood came across a magical dagger. It is +2 versus man-sized or smaller, and +3 versus medium-sized. Skeletons have the special defense that they only take half damage from a piercing weapon in first edition. A backstab is double damage. So if Zodwood happens to hit, it's just going to be applied as normal damage. I need to go grab the skeleton's stats and his hit points. I'll be right back. Okay, so the skeleton has an armor class of 7, has 6 hit points. Zodwood is going to attempt to attack the skeleton. He has a +4 for the backstab, and then an additional +2 from the dagger, so that's a total of +6, which drops his THAC out of 14, which means he only needs a 7 or better on a d20 to hit the skeleton. He barely hit. 7 plus 6 is 13, which is an armor class of 6. The magic dagger does 1d4 plus 2. Normally that would be doubled, but skeletons have the special defense of only taking half damage from piercing and slashing weapons, so it's literally just 1d4 plus 2. He takes 6 points of damage. Zodwood smokes the skeleton in one fell backstab move. He is dead. I must now go write this down on our little tracker sheet so that when we get to town later in the episode, we can get credit for the experience. I'll be right back. Okay, I've written that down. Skeletons do not have a treasure type, so there's no individual treasure from the skeleton, but you'll notice 3d6 gold pieces in the coffers and vases that are in the corner here. So let's roll that. That's another 8 gold pieces. Every little bit helps, right? So we'll go write that down. And now we're off to go, excuse me, to see what's going on to the north, right? Because this is all done. There's nothing else to investigate over here. We come all the way back through here. The sound of the coins clinking was rather prescient because he came in with the skeleton and boom, there we go. Oh, they were rattling around. The skeleton must have bumped into something. Who knows? Okay, I had to move all of this south because we drew a hallway that runs north and south. Now, there should be a monster here, but we can't roll high enough, so there's nothing there. Does Zodwood know about the secret door? No, he does not. Coming around this direction, he's completely oblivious to this tunnel here. That means nothing anyway. But he is completely oblivious to this secret passage. So let's grab the next room. We've reached the end of the northern tunnel. There could possibly be monsters in this room. We have either a goblin or a zombie. Because D6 plus 1, best you can roll is 7, right? I'm sure you guys can do math at this point, but I just like pointing it out. So you guys know that I'm not hiding or skipping over anything, right? I want you guys to know what I'm doing. So I'm going to let the dice decide. Odd and even, left and right. Goblin or zombie on a D10. Odd, it is a goblin. Drop that goblin token right here. I'm going to go pull the stats for the goblin before I can see if it's a backstab attempt or not. Okay, so the goblin has an armor class of 6 and only 7 hit points. You will notice I rolled a d8 and reduced that to 7. The monster manual entry for the goblin states that they have 1 to 7 hit points, even though they are 1 hit dice. I believe they're 1 hit dice minus 1, which explains the 1 to 7. So I rolled maximum. He gets 7 hit points. Now, Zodwood is going to see if he can surprise the goblin. He does. Roll of 1 on a d6. He now gets plus 4 plus 6, right? His THAC becomes 14. Armor class of 6 means he needs to roll an 8 or better for the backstab to work. Natural 20. So the damage is D4 plus 1, right? 2 to 5 for small or medium. It is then doubled because of the backstab. 5, and that is 10 points of damage. The goblin is destroyed. Zodwood has gotten a pair of backstabs off on the first level of this dungeon, which is fantastic. The dice are definitely favoring him on the first level. I'm sure that will change when we get down to the next level. So let's kill the goblin. Go write this down. I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the end of the first level of the dungeon. We have successfully navigated it. Now what we need to do, I'm going to move all of this over the best I can. I'm going to actually put it up here because I can actually get more space this way. I can get more space this way, moving it over here. And now we have to add this little piece. And Zodwood now gets to go down the stairs to the second level. So let's yank the second level. We don't need to roll for the quest idea. We already know that there's something massive down here. Let's go east. And this looks like it is going to be a pretty decently sized dungeon, right? This is, we've got basically what's a T intersection, right? What are the contents? A 2. There is nothing to be found anywhere in here. There's a hard lock right here. We'll see if Zodwood can pick that. 83, he does not. He is unaware of this room, so he doesn't know if there's anything in there or not. We are going to go east before we end up going south. And look at this. There are monsters down here. And some of these are not very friendly. This might actually become very, very hard at this point. You can see that the room ends up going to the south as well. So let's see what the D6 plus 1 gives us. It gives us a 7. There are 2 troglodytes or 2 boars. Odd and even. Odd. There are a pair of troglodytes in this room. That is not good. And it is not good because Zodwood is not equipped to deal with multiple enemies at once. There is no way he could survive entering this room. It's not possible. Well, I wouldn't say it's not possible. It is extraordinarily unlikely. But we can't get the final item unless we get through here and get to the end. So we're going to try something here, and this is probably going to backfire horribly. We are going to see, first and foremost, if Zodwood could surprise the troglodytes, because it is entirely possible. And then, if he does or does not, he may try to actually just sneak past them. Right? That's a distinct possibility. But let me go get the troglodyte stats, put those up in the log, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen from there. Okay, so troglodytes have an armor class of 5, which not the worst, but it's not good, and it's not really good in Zodwood's favor either. I rolled actually pretty poorly for their hit points. One of the troglodytes has 7 hit points, the other one has 10. It's entirely possible Zodwood could backstab one, kill it, and end up, taking out the other one. So we're going to see if he can surprise them first. And he does. Well, we're not here to be cautious. We're not here to be careful. We are not here to pull punches. So let's go. Zod was going to sneak up on the first one here and attempt to backstab him with the dagger. That would be the 7 hit point troglodyte. We could take out the 10 potentially, but I rolled the 7 first. That's the first one in our way. That's the one we're going with. Armor class of 5. Zodwood's Thaco with the dagger on a backstab is a 14, so he needs a 9 or better to hit. He does hit. He rolled a 19. D4 plus 1 for damage on the attack. I am incorrect on that damage. It is D4 plus 2. Remember, it's a 2 plus 2 on that dagger. Top Tortoise makes mistakes. Yeah, it is D4 plus 2. It's a plus 2 dagger. It's D4 plus 2. So here we go. 3 plus 2 is 5. Times 2 is 10. That troglodyte is dead. Even if it was the one with 10 hit points. And you know what? We're going to let the dice decide. Which one was it? 7 or 10? Odd and even, left and right. Even, it was the 10 hit point troglodyte. You see it right here. We are now in combat. Let's roll initiative. Zodwood is always first, and he wins. He is going to attack the troglodyte with 7 hit points with his magic dagger. Myself, the troglodyte, Zodwood does hit on the second attack. He does a whole 3 points of damage. The troglodyte has 4 hit points remaining. Zodwood hits again. Now remember, his Thaco without the backstab with the dagger is an 18. Okay? Dagger plus 2, right? So that would be 20 minus 2 is 18. The 15 hits armor class 3. The trogs have an armor class of 5. So here we go. 2 plus 2 is 4. He has smoked both troglodytes. I entered this room saying it is not possible for him to win. He won. You guys saw it with the dice. Troglodyte 2 is destroyed. So, I got to go write down both of those trogs. I'll be right back. Okay, so Zodwood, after killing the troglodytes, now comes down here into this room. There's no locks in there, just so you guys can see this. There's no locks, but there is 3d10 gold pieces. That is another 14 gold from that chest or wardrobe or the pile of coins that are just laying on the floor. All right, so now Zodwood's going south through this room. Remember, there's another south right there. Okay, hallway. No monsters. We can only roll a 7. Zodwood continues his journey south. Okay, so he comes into this room, or this hallway, I should say, which branches to the east. Once again, no monsters, but there is the distinct smell of urine. Ugh. we've encountered this room before, this hallway in one of Zodwood's adventures here. So he's unfortunately getting used to the smell of urine. Okay, so we've come into this new room, and look at that. There is either a zombie or a drow. Odd and even, left and right, whatever you want to do. Odd, that is a zombie. In my opinion, the quintessential advanced Dungeons and Dragons monster. Yeah, sure, skeletons, specters, vampires, wights, wraiths, picking undead. Dragons, obviously, right? In my opinion, it's my estimation, zombies are where it's at. That is the number one monster in Dungeons and Dragons, right? Brains. Okay, so zombie has armor class of 8 and 9 total hit points. This could potentially get a bit ugly. Then again, I said that about the troglodytes, and Zodwood walked through them like it was nothing. So let's see if we can surprise the zombie. No, we do not. So zombies always attack last. I have no need to roll initiative in this combat. Zombies always attack last. So here goes nothing. That would hit armor class of 3 for 5 points of damage. The zombie hit, if I am remembering my charts correct, armor class 6 with a 13, right? They are a 2-hit dice creature. The THAC0 for a 2-hit dice creature should be 19, so that would be 6. That would miss. Zodwood has an armor class 4. Zodwood hit armor class of 6. For 4 points of damage, the zombie is dead. Zodwood is going through and killing everything he comes across in this dungeon. A skeleton, 2 troglodytes, a goblin, and a zombie now. That is fantastic. Zodwood is just, this adventure is made for him today. Okay, so we have a couple things we have to do yet in this room. There is money hidden in this wardrobe that Zodwood is going to grab. 3 times 10, that's 30 more gold pieces. And there is a lock over here. There's nothing beyond it, but we got to see if we can pick it, right? 26, Zodwood picks it easily. Oh, look, there's a pick and some rope and what looks like a chest, but there's nothing in it because zombies don't have treasure. All right, we've gone everywhere we can go, come in this direction. Go back up here. And what do you know? There is a room with a monster in it. It's either a drow or a winged kobold. Now, there are no such things as winged kobolds in first edition. So if the dice say winged kobold, we are going to just use a normal kobold. I want to point that out. But odd, even, left, right. Odd, it is a drow. A drow is a formidable opponent. I will grab the drow token. I just love it's all gray with, or it's all black with like gray hair. And go grab the stats. Be right back. Okay, so drow are a quite formidable opponent under normal circumstances. They have infravision, they have speed, they have the ability to hide in darkness, they've got a bunch of spells that they can cast at will several times a day. They are effectively wearing +1 chainmail and a +1 buckler, which gives them an armor class of 4. In this case, our 2-hit dice drow rolled badly for hit points. 6. So Lord only knows what's up with him. So what we're gonna try to do here is, again, we're here for glory. We're not here to take it easy, right? This is not an Eagles song. So let's see if we can surprise him. And we do. Now his armor class is a 4. Our Thaco with the dagger on a backstab is 14. So I need to roll a 10 or better for the backstab to take effect. The backstab misses. Zodwood blows his chance to smoke the drow. So now we roll initiative, get into combat. Zodwood rolls a 2. The drow rolls a 3. So now Zodwood needs a 14 or better to attack in combat. And the drow hits. And the drow does damage by weapon type, according to the Fiend Folio. I'm going to assume short sword at this point. That's 1d6. I think that sounds pretty fair. Zodwood takes 1 hit point of damage. Zodwood now has 6 hit points remaining. I'm going to write that down. That way we don't forget, right? Zodwood hits with the magic dagger. D4 plus 2. It's 5. The drow now has 1 hit point remaining. The drow rolls a natural 20. Natural 20s in first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons only just meant that you hit regardless. So Zodwood now has 4 hit points remaining. Zodwood hit. The drow has what? 1 hit point remaining, I believe. I'm still going to roll. Does 5 points of damage. The drow is killed. That is fantastic. Zodwood is all over it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go write all this down. I'll be right back. Okay, so the drow 2 hit dice written all down. The best part about the drow is that they have individual treasure on them. They have treasure type N times 5 and Q times 2. That is per the Fiend Folio. So Zodwood is going to hopefully get rich quick off of that drow. The bad part is that while Zodwood was in town last time, he failed to purchase any healing potions. So he is down 3 hit points. He's down to 4 hit points for the rest of this dungeon. Unless he comes across something that gives him hit points back. There are magic pools. There are healing potions explicitly stated on some of these cards. He could get healed. But he is hurt. The rules do state that the only way to recover hit points are rest or magic. There is no bandaging wounds in first edition. At least not with the rules we're using. I'm sure in Unearthed Arcana there were some weird rules, or even Dragon Magazine. We're not going to go that far. Zodwood either lives or dies, period. Okay, so now we come all the way over here and let's go west. Okay, just a hallway. No monsters in it. And here we go. We have a room, a couple of secret doors. We'll deal with those should Zodwood get through the encounter here. There is a Grimlock or a skeleton. I do not believe the Grimlock is included in first edition. I will look later. I'm just going to make it a skeleton for the time being, right? All right, skeleton armor class is 7, skeleton hit points is 7. Can Zodwood sneak up on him? No, Zodwood has apparently used up all his luck in this dungeon. So now he is debating what to do. Well, Zodwood is just going to Well, let's roll for initiative. Zodwood wins the initiative. What he's going to do is in this first round of combat, he is going to fling a sling bullet because that will do full damage. It's a bludgeoning weapon. It only does 2 to 5 points of damage, 1d4 plus 1. His THAC0 is a 17 because he has plus 3 on the attack from his dexterity, and he missed horribly. And the skeleton closes. Zodwood then switches to his dagger, which would mean his THAC0 is an 18. That is armor class 8, and the skeleton has an armor class 7, so that misses. Keep that in mind. The skeleton hits, and it is by weapon type, so d6. Zodwood is down to 2 hit points. Zodwood hits, and that's going to be d4 plus 2. That is 2 hit points of damage. Remember, skeletons have the special defense of only taking half damage from piercing and slashing weapons. The skeleton hits, and Zodwood has been killed. Our protagonist, Zodwood Nimblepot, our first level thief, got extraordinarily lucky through most of this dungeon, and unfortunately has met his untimely demise at the hands of a simple skeleton. He waded through 2 troglodytes and a drow, any one of which could have killed him, either of which could have killed him. But he has unfortunately run out of luck, and his corpse now rests in the same room as the skeleton. I think this 3-episode arc with Zodwood has proven that the deck of many dungeons is absolutely viable for a non-D20 system, for first edition Dungeons & Dragons specifically. I do believe it has proven that thieves are not necessarily the best option to run through the dungeon. I would really like to potentially see what happens with a fighter or cleric. Not sure about a ranger. Leather armor is obviously not good enough. And Zodwood had a pretty decent armor class at first level 4. High dexterity, leather armor, right? But I don't think that a thief or any non-warrior type in the deck of many dungeons in first edition is necessarily the best option. But it bore out that it is possible. It can be done. So thus ends our adventures with Zodwood Nimblepot. He is now a stain on the floor. This dungeon will never be used again because Zodwood, the only person that's got the map of it, for now anyway, has died. The next episode I do with the deck of many dungeons, I am going to use 5th edition. I will create a character using the standard 5th edition rules. I will tell you what those rules are as soon as we get into that episode. This may be it for Zodwood, but that is not it for the deck of many dungeons. We have many more systems to test. We have many more mechanics we can go through. We have all kinds of things we can do with this deck of many dungeons. So, until next time, faithful viewers, this is your top tortoise, Corey, saying thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.